Hello guys, I'm Teddy, and in this step-by-step Procreate tutorial, I'm gonna show you how to create a cool poster design with a beetle and flowers using Symmetry features. Now before we begin, you can download all tutorial files via the link in the video description below. If you are ready, let's grab our pencils and get started. I've gone ahead and created a blank vertical canvas. It has the dimensions of 2000 by 2500 pixels. This time I've set color profile to sRGB. Normally I use Display P3, which gives more vibrant and juicy colors. In this style we don't need that. As always in the tutorial files, you will find a color palette and a few custom brushes that we're gonna use throughout the drawing. Our Scarab Beetle will look like this. He'll have a head, a thorax, abdomen, then 3 pairs of legs and antennae. Just as simple as that. And to make the drawing process easy and fun, we will try out one of the cool Procreate features. It's Symmetry. To turn it on, let's open Actions, then go to Canvas, enable Drawing Guide. After that we can edit it by clicking here. In this pop-up menu at the lower side of the canvas, we need to switch to Symmetry and make sure that vertical is selected and assisted drawing is turned on. All we need to do is click Done. Let's start drawing a thorax, which will have color number 7. Today we will use Technical Pen for drawing, and you can find it in Inking section from Procreate. The size can be set around 22%. Let's make this beetle not very big, so we have some space around it to draw the flowers. If you enjoy my free brushes and these YouTube video tutorials but still want to get more, please consider joining my creative community on Patreon, where I've already shared hundreds of premium quality brushes and advanced Procreate tutorials in many different styles. I'll be more than happy to assist you in this creative art journey. Now, without further ado, let's get straight into work. Now what we need to do is draw an arc that'll start from the axis. Make it go down like this. Now let's draw a small curve here. I will make it more rounded. Then it'll go slightly down. So for now it looks like a mushroom head. In the end we need to go more down and connect these lines on the axis. Just like this. Once the shape is ready, we can drag the color inside it. To fill. I will make a few more adjustments. Alright. And now that we have the thorax, we can draw the wings. Actually, we can stay on the same layer. And when we start shading, we can use selection to separate them. Now let's select color number 5. And since we have Symmetry, we can just draw one of the wings, and the other one will be reflected to the opposite side. Let's keep some small distance, and continue this arc. This abdomen part will be bigger. So let's go all the way down, and even connect it to the axis. Now it started to look like an acorn, or a coffee bean. I will outline it more. And after that, we need to add another arc on top of it. Keep a tiny distance from the upper part. Let's go a little down like this. Then draw a small curve here, very close to the axis. And in the end, we just need to connect these parts with a line like this. When these two shapes are ready, we can just fill one of them. And the other one will be filled too, due to the symmetry. Like this. Now that we have the body, we can draw the head, but let's do it on another layer. This way it will be easier to shade it later. Let's click on the plus button and then drag this layer underneath. Let's tap on it. And not forget to activate Drawing Assist, so we keep Symmetry tool active. For the head, let's select color number 6. We can draw sort of a triangle here, right on the axis. Then go a little bit down, then up again, and do the same a few times. So we have the small peaks. Now let's draw 2 lines that'll go down with a small angle, just like this. Then 2 more lines for the eyes. Let's go a little bit more down, this way, and in the end, just connect it to the body. To be able to fill the shape, we need to close all the gaps. So let's close the invisible part first, and also these small parts on top. Now let's fill it this way. And if you'd like to adjust the shape, you can use Liquify. Just set it to push mode, and even if you push one of the sides, it will be also applied to the opposite one, because we have assisted drawing. This is how it works. I just want to make it a little bit wider, and these lines more straight. Okay, now I think it looks better. And we can draw antennae. Let's start from here. Go a little above this part. Then add a shorter line at around 90 degrees. And then draw one more. Make it wider at the end. So we can even draw this way. Alright, now this part is ready. We can draw the eyes. So let's grab this dark red color, number 10. Then we can add another layer underneath. Activate Symmetry by clicking Drawing Assist. And just draw an arc on one of the sides. Let's just paint it like this. We can make it bigger, so it will be seen in the drawing, because now it is too small. I will also use Liquify to adjust it. Just push it a little bit up like this. Now I think it looks better. I will push it a little. Okay, now I like the shape of the eyes. We will add shading here later. Now we can just draw the last part. For that, let's create another layer. Also drag it down and activate Drawing Assist. On this layer we will draw the legs and also fill this empty part of the body. Let's start with color number 8 that we will use to draw the legs. Before painting the legs in details, let's make sort of a skeleton that will work as a prompt. So we will just draw some lines. Let's lower the brush size to around 15%, and as I said in the beginning, this beetle has 3 pairs of legs. Each pair has 3 parts. The first one will start growing from a thorax, so we can draw a line from here. It will go with an angle. After that, it will go straight up and have approximately the same length. The last part is called a claw. It can be a little bit longer and go with a different angle towards the axis, like this. The second pair will go from the body, from the upper side, So we can just draw a short line from here, then add a long one. That will go with a small angle, and then draw the claw. That will be also long, and have a different angle too. Like this. The last pair will grow approximately from the middle of the body. Let's also start with a short line, then draw a longer one, but make it with a different angle. Just like this. Let's finish it by drawing the last part. That will head towards the axis too. Alright, now that we have this simple skeleton, let's start drawing around the lines. And I like to start from top. Since we have symmetry, what we draw on one side will be also mirrored to the opposite one. So here, let's draw the tip. We can even match it with this part. Just make it a little bit more rounded. And add sort of a finger. Actually, it looks like a finger, but it is called a claw. Like this. Now, around this line, we can just draw some arcs. Like this. Let's do it on this side. Make sure to connect all them. Now we can do it this way. Here it will be shorter. After that we can add 2 more lines and add some spikes. On this side we can just draw a long line. Let's continue this one. It can go parallel to our line and get wider in the end, where it matches with the body. Now we just need to finish it on the left side. I think we can add 1 more spike from here. Make it rather sharp. Then it will get wider too. And we need to match it. In the end, let's just connect the lines on the invisible side. I will connect all short lines. And now we can try to fill it. Just drag the color into one of the shapes. I will fix it manually. Make it a little bit sharper here. Maybe also use liquify to adjust. I will set it to push mode. And make this part a bit more narrow. Like this. Okay. I like how this turned out. I will just paint more inside. And we can switch to the next pair. I will work on the left side, but of course you can work on the right one. It's up to you. Now let's draw sort of a shoulder. Make it round like this. Alright. Also on this side. Then draw a line along this part. And a few spikes on the left. 1, 2, and maybe a shorter one. Like this. Let's also draw a corner here. And along this line, we can draw circles. I'll start from here. Draw a few. Actually, it will be 4. And then I will add these arcs on the other side from the line. Let me also connect all these lines. And here on the tip, let's draw a shape like this. It will have a curve this way, and then a shorter part. Let's also close this part behind the red color. And now we can try to fill it. Since we have this line in the middle, it can be separated into 2 parts. so we can just fill them one by one. I will grab a razor. Oops. Let me set it to technical pen, and I will just make this part a little bit thinner. Now I think it looks better. Now these two are ready. Let's finish the last two. Let's switch back to brush and also draw the thicker part around the short line. We can also make it a little bit rounded. Then add a shorter line here. After that, add a few spikes on the left side, as we did on other legs. One, then one more. And the last one that will be short. On the opposite side, we can just draw a longer arc, exactly same as we did before. It will look like this. Let's finish this corner. And after that, draw the circles. We can make them smaller this way. 3, 4. Let's also do it on this side. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in the end, we need to draw this close. The big part, and then the small one. Let's connect it here, behind the red color again. I will adjust this part. Also make sure to close all the small corners. And after that, we need to fill the shape. It also has two parts, so I will fill them one by one and paint the corners manually, because color fill doesn't always work perfect. Okay, now we have our beetle. All we need to do is paint the inner part of the body. Let's switch to color number 9. Draw two short lines on the sides to connect these two parts of the body. Also, we need to close it on top and at the bottom. After that, just drag the color inside. Now we have the shape for the beetle, and before we proceed to shading, we can make a cool paper background. Let's click on the plus button to create a new layer. Then drag it underneath. Pick color number 1 from the palette and fill the canvas with it. Now let's add another layer on top and change the layers mode to color burn, so we can see the result right away. Here we can select color number 2, go to the brush set for our tutorial, and pick this watercolor paper brush. It is from my paper pack that is available on Patreon. Let's keep the canvas vertical like this. Set the size and opacity to maximum and just paint all over the canvas. We can barely see the texture now. But let's rotate the canvas clockwise and make it horizontal. Then paint once again. This texture will go crisscross. And now it looks much better. Let's now merge these two layers and create one more. We can set it to overlay mode and pick white color from the disk by double tapping here. The easiest way to create a frame is to use selection. Let's activate it, then switch to rectangle and even enable color fill. Now we just need to outline a rectangle inside the canvas. Try to make it even. But even if it's not, it can be fixed easily using transformation in freehand. Okay. As you see, it filled the area inside, but to make it look as we want, we need to invert it. and you will get this. Let me remove the selection, then open the layer and lower the opacity to make it a little bit transparent and not so white. We can set it around 69 or 70%. Let's also merge these two layers and create the last one for the background. Right here. Now let's pick color number 3 from the palette and also basic ink liner. It is from my other Patreon-only brush set. Here the size can be set around 24%. And to draw it faster and easier, we can keep using Symmetry, but in a slightly different way. So let's go back to Actions, click Edit Drawing Guide in Canvas, then go to Options. We need to keep it in vertical, but activate Rotational Symmetry. Let's see how it works by clicking Done. We also need to make sure that Drawing Assist is turned on in the layer. We could also do it in the previous menu, but that's okay. Now let's start drawing a vertical line close to the inner border. If we tap on the canvas with one finger, it'll go perfectly vertical. Just like this. Now let's try to connect them at one side. We can also tap on the canvas to make it go horizontal. And that's it. Our frame is ready. I'm just going to merge these two layers too. And finally we can start shading the beetle. Let's go to the layer number 1 and create another one above it. Then clip. Let's remove this grid from the canvas. So I'll just go to Actions and in Canvas, disable Drawing Guide. For now we don't need it. Also in the color palette, we can select color number 6. Then do this. Activate Selection and switch to Freehand. Now let's divide this part over thorax vertically. So we can tap this way, in the center, and then outline it carefully on the outer side, just like this. Let's now tap here, and it will be filled. Let's deselect it, and now I'd like to smudge this border. Let's use this smudge tool. I will open it, and select Soft Brush from Airbrushing section. To make it softer, we can set the opacity to 71% and keep the size at around 3%, or maybe a little bit less. Let's try 2%. We can start making these horizontal strokes carefully. Let's also try to move vertically and go down, and just try to keep it soft. Let's also smudge it more here at the bottom. We just need to remove the sharpness, but actually keep it slightly as a line. Let's stretch it a little bit to the left side. I'm doing it with very low pressure, so this way we can practice smudging with a soft texture. Just like this. Okay, now after we did it, let's switch back to brush. Also open airbrushing and select medium hard airbrush. We will use it for shading. The size here can be set to 35%, and using the same color, let's darken this small part on the left. But to apply it only on the blue part, we can use selection again, this time without color fill. Let's outline it. Tap here to close, and actually to keep it for later, we can save it. From this menu, let's pick Save and Load, and then click on the plus button. We will get the selection that we can always activate. Now let me tap on the brush again. We can see that it is selected. And now we can apply a stroke this way to darken this part slightly. Let's do it this way. Keep it a little bit soft, so I'm not pressing too much on this part too. Like this. Okay, I think we can actually keep the selected area, but switch to the dark color number 9. Use the same brush. Maybe we can adjust the brush size a little bit. I will lower it to 32%. And now we can start applying a dark spot here on the right. Let's go a little bit down, this way. First we can make sort of a circle here. Then go down, just like this. And follow this line on the left. Match it with the dark blue part. Let's go a little upper, so we have some space for the reflected light. Let's just do it this way. I think now it looks quite nice. Okay, I think enough darkening. Now we can start adding the highlights. First let's select color number 14. And draw slightly here on the right. Just a little bit. So let's press not too much. Then I will pick some dark blue tone and apply it right on the edge, on this small part. I think this will be the most detailed part that we will shade. The rest will be much easier and faster. Okay. You will get something like this. I will just smudge it a little bit here. And then using color number 14 again, we can start drawing around on top, but with a smaller size. Let's make these strokes right here. Go a little bit to the right. And after that, we can draw a light spot here. Also make it round like this, so it is like symmetrical to the dark part. So let's move down a little. I will try not to damage the dark area that we created previously. So we just need to do it like this. Let's make the edge a little bit sharper, this way. Then go a little bit down, just like this. All right. Now we can switch to a lighter color, that is number 13, and apply it more on the right, just a tiny bit. We can even smudge it, so there is no sharp border between these two colors. And to add some glow to it, we can just select white. Do it on the disk. Let's make the size even smaller and draw a light spot like this. I think here we can set the size to 13% or so. We can do it gradually, so it will be the lightest in the middle and softer on the sides, like this. In the end, we can add the reflected light at the lower border. So let's grab the color from the wing. The size can be still small. And we need to make a stroke like this. Let's do it gradually, so it will be blended with the dark area. Now our beetle is getting some shape. Let's make it very soft, like this. And here we can make it a little bit lighter. So let's try to select color number 4. I will just continue this line. But let's keep the dark area seen. Let's also make it this way with a gradual transition. Then I will select color number 13 again and apply it here on the edge with low pressure. I think it looks very cool now. We can adjust it a little bit here by using smudge tool at a small size. I will just make it softer, like this. And now the spot is totally ready. Let's continue working on the wings. Now we can remove this selection. Of course we could stay on the same layer, but I think we better create a new one, so we can fix it easily if needed. This time I won't clip it, so we can draw a pattern on the wings. Let's use some dark color. It can be number 15. Now to select a brush, let's open inking and grab technical pen. Set the size to 15%. Before we start drawing the pattern, let's activate Drawing Assist in the layer. So now what we draw on one side will be also reflected on the other one. Prior to drawing, we need to fix our drawing guide, because last time we used a rotational symmetry. So let's go back to Drawing Guide, click Edit, then go to Options, and remove rotational symmetry from here. Keep only vertical. Now we can click Done. I still don't want to see this grid, so I'll remove it. But Assistant Drawing is still on, so we can work. I'd like to start from this side and just make an arc parallel to the upper side of the wing. This brush is pressure sensitive, so we can get thicker or thinner lines just by changing the pressure that we apply on the pencil. Let's draw this way. Also go parallel to this side, all the way down. Like this. Now we can go up from here, approximately to the middle of the wing. Let me show you. Now let's start somewhere here. Press on the pencil first, and then lower it. Now let's go down. Make a hook like this, and go up again. Now we need to draw another line between these two. Just like this. I think we can make it even longer. And then draw a short line. Like this. We can also use Liquify to adjust the lines. Let me increase the size, so we can push it. Just like this. So it goes more parallel. Now we have some more space here, so we can draw a line that will go down this way, and maybe one more between these two to fill all the space. I think it looks quite nice. I will just make a few adjustments. Make this part even wider. Also adjust some lines by changing the pressure. This way it will just look more interesting. Maybe this one can go upper. Also I will adjust this one. Like this. I think I will also make these lines a little bit longer. So this one a little. Now I like how this pattern looks. Let's continue working with it. Now we can just duplicate this layer and recolor the one on top. To do it easily, let's click on the layer, then alpha lock it. Grab color number 16. Then go back to the layer, tap on it again, and fill it. Now let's clip this layer to the one underneath. I'm just adding a clipping mask. After that, if you go to transformation, we can move it a little bit to the left side. And now it'll get some volume. Actually, we can switch to liquify. But before that, let's remove alpha lock, otherwise it won't work. So we can make some adjustments manually by pushing the lines. Let's also remove drawing assist. I'll go back to liquify. And now work with it. I just want this yellow color to appear on the left side of each line. And also on top of it. Like this. Let me push this side. Alright. Also a little bit here. Like this. Here we can make the size smaller. And make some final adjustments. Okay, now I think it looks quite nice. We can deselect it. Then alpha lock the layer again. And make it a little bit darker at the bottom. So we can select color number 18. After that, select soft brush from airbrushing and make a few strokes at the bottom. Just like this. So it will be yellowish on top and more pinkish at the bottom. Let's make it even darker with color number 4, right at the bottom. We will darken it later, I mean the wings, so it'll pop up more. Okay. Now we can merge these two layers for the pattern, since it is ready. Then create a layer underneath. We can even drag it under the thorax. And it will be clipped to the body. So we can add a few more colors. Actually, we have color number 4 selected already, so we can just recolor the left wing to make it lighter. To do it easily, let's use freehand selection. We just need to outline this wing on the left, around the contour. Let's tap here, and then on the outer side. We just need to close the selection and activate color fill. It will get lighter like this. I think we can also save this selection in case we need it later. For now it looks like this. So we can continue shading, darken the wings at the bottom and highlight them on top. Let's now create a layer between these two. Use selection but without color fill to outline the wing on the right. Let's do it this way. Go outside, outline it, then tap here, and activate the brush by tapping on it. Let's use soft brush here. Actually, we can pick the color right from the wing, and then set the lace mode to multiply to get a darker tone. Let's adjust the brush size, make it not very big, but also not very small, so we can paint approximately half of the wing with low pressure. We need to start from the bottom and also go a little up on the side, like this. It already got darker, so let's paint it this way. And after that, we can pick the dark color that we get. Create one more layer. And to make it even darker, let's set it to multiply again. This time we can paint a little bit lower. Let's just go upper and more on the side, like this. We can go even upper on the side. Okay, it looks nice, I think. So we can add one more layer to create highlights. We will also have a few colors, but we will apply them all in normal mode, so we can use only one layer for that. Let's select color number 18 first and highlight it on this edge. We can make circular strokes carefully, with very low pressure. Okay, now after that, let's switch to color number 19 and apply it right on the edge on the left and on top. So let's lower the size, or we can even go back to the brush set and select medium harder brush. Its edges are not so soft. It will work better here. Let's start applying it like this, right on the side. And since we have the selection active, it will be applied only to this wing. Very easy. Let's go a little bit down, like this, and just match it with a line. After that, we can highlight this popping up part a bit more by adding a couple more colors here. So let's first select color number 16, which is a little bit lighter, and apply it like this in this corner. In the end, let's apply color number 20 with smaller strokes right here. We can apply even more pressure to make this part pop up and look more highlighted. Okay, I think this wing is totally ready. We can start working on the left one. So let's remove this selection, go to the layer number 8, where we have this color that we applied. Now we can add a layer above it, and instead of creating a new selection, we can activate the one that we created before. Let's do it. So I open the selection menu, and now from here, let's click Save and Load. We have it in the selection number 2. So let's tap on it. Now we have it active. So let's tap on the brush and first use soft brush to add a shadow at the lower part. Let's use color number 5 first. Make the size bigger and start darkening this area at the bottom. Let's go up a little this. Now we can also pick the color from somewhere here, create a new one, and set it to multiply to make it slightly darker. So let's make a couple strokes right at the bottom, like this. Let's just make a few more strokes that will go upper. Okay, and now we can start adding the highlights. Since we have this layer in multiply, we need to create another one in normal mode. It will be also clipped. The selection is still on. We just need to grab color number 17 and start adding it here on the upper part. Let's tweak the brush size and start drawing in the gap between these lines to highlight it. Also, let's go a little bit down here. Okay, just some more strokes so it looks more highlighted. After we did it, let's switch to color number 11. Here we need to make the size a little bit smaller to be more accurate and start drawing more. But paint a smaller area, like this. This way it will pop up even better and get more highlighted. Let's just make a few more strokes. And in the end, we can actually apply white color. So let's also select it from the disk by double tapping here on the white part. Let's do it carefully this way and keep it soft. This area needs to be small. Okay, this is what we will get in the end. I think now the wings are ready. We can totally deselect and merge all the layers for it, starting from this one. I think we can actually merge all at once, like this. All we need to do is shade the head quickly and also the eyes. I think we can start with the eyes. Let's just alpha lock the layer. We have symmetry here, so let's keep using it. All we need to do is add the highlights inside, using a lighter color than the base one. Let's try to start with color number 18. I will switch to medium harder brush here, also lower the brush size, and start making subtle strokes like this. Let's finish it by applying color number 11. The size can be smaller here, and I will just paint like this on the smaller area. Okay. I think we can just darken it a little with color number 15. Apply it a little bit at the bottom. And just like this. Let's add it on top slightly. And close to the edge. So the eyes are also popping. Now that the eyes are ready, let's finally go to the layer with the head. Create another one above it. Clip it. And to keep it very simple, I think we can just darken one part. We used color number 6 here. So let's start with color number 8. I think we don't need the symmetry. We can just increase the size and darken it this way at the bottom. Go up on the eyes. Let's also darken antenna. This one. Part 2 highlighted on the left side. Let's create a layer between. Then select color number 7. Make the size even bigger. And just paint slightly on the left. Okay. I think the head is ready. Let's merge these layers. All three. And maybe together with the eyes. Since the legs are very dark and thin, maybe we don't need to add any highlights or shading here. Let's just keep them. Instead, we will start working on the background and paint some nice symmetrical flowers. So let me create a layer above layer number 5, where we have the background. And then I will switch to Technical Pen. Let's not forget to activate Drawing Assist. And then select a color for the flowers. If you think it will be easier for you, you can bring back Drawing Guide into the canvas, so you can see the symmetry. Also, let's select color number 12 and adjust the brush size. We can set it around 24%. Now let's just draw around the beetle. Create a stem for a flower. I'll start from here and go down. We can make it a little bit curvy, so it's not perfect. Let's connect it here. On this part we can draw something like this, so later we can place the flower here on the tip. Now let's start adding the leaves around. Let's also make them slightly curvy like this. I will start with bigger ones. Here we have a lot of space, so let's try to fill it with a big leaf like this. Make sure you connect it to the stem. Let's now add a couple of smaller leaves that will go down, and I will also make them a little bit curvy, so they look interesting and nice. Alright, I think we can add a couple more from here. We also need to fill more space between the beetle and the stem. This one can go a little bit lower. And since we have some more space, we can add a smaller stem. So we can draw a flower here too. Let's continue going down. Add one more leaf. Somewhere here. Underneath. Also make it curvy. Then another one will go to this side. Here we can draw another short stem for one more flower, like this. So we will put the biggest one right here, then one more a little bit lower. Here we will place the third one, and I think we can draw like this. Like we will put another big flower in the middle. So let's add a few leaves that will go from this point this way. Then a big one. And a couple more that will be smaller. Something like this. Maybe we can just add another small stem right here, because there is a lot of space. Let's do it this way. And now all we need to do is fill all the leaves. I I will start dragging the color into one of them, then click Continue Filling, and after that just tap. While doing that, you can also adjust color drop. So I will undo it and try again. I see these tips are not connected, so I will adjust it. Let me bring back color drop threshold so it fills the leaves normally. Okay, now let me connect this and fill it again. Then I will make some final adjustments to the leaves. And we will get something like this. Before we draw a flower and duplicate it multiple times to adjust the shape, let's add some details on the leaves. To do it easily, we can just add a layer above this one. We don't even have to clip it. Let's just set it to soft light. And then grab white color. Now in the same inking set, let's select Inka brush. It has a very nice texture. So we can start drawing curves inside the leaves, with the size set to around 3%. I think we can also activate Symmetry here. It's called Drawing Assist. And now I will start drawing. Also changing the pressure to make the lines look textured. Now let's add shorter ones on the sides. They can go with different angles, like this. Now let's draw inside this one. Also add some shorter lines. And do the same in the rest. This is how I like to do it. Quite easy, and we don't have to select a color. Soft light mode works great with white. Let's also do it inside these shapes. Don't forget to adjust the pressure on the pencil, just to get different lines. The last area. Okay. Now we can merge these layers. Create another one. And for now we can just tap and hold here to get white canvas. So we can draw the flower. Let me remove drawing guide. And once we will make one flower, we will duplicate it. Let's go to pick a color for our flower. It will be number 20 from the palette. Let's make sure the technical pen is selected. And the size is at around 26% or so. First we need to decide on the amount and shape of the petals. I think 6 is fine. Also it will be very easy to draw. Let's first create a skeleton, just by drawing a line. Let's make it not very big, approximately like this, but actually we can scale the flower later if needed. Now let's draw another line that will have a similar size, but at around 60 degrees. Now let's draw another one that will also go through the center. Now that we have the skeleton, we can just draw the petals around the lines. Let's determine these dots between the lines. And now we can just draw arcs. These petals don't have to be the same size and shape, but still it will look symmetrical. So let's just connect all these parts. Some of the petals can be pointy and others rounded. Before we fill the shape, we can erase the lines that go outside, like this, to make it clean. And now let's try to drag the color inside. I will click Continue Filling, and then the step. If you like the shape, you can keep it, or make a few adjustments if needed. Let me make this petal a little bit different. Like this. Okay, now I like the shape. We can start adding details to it. Let's just create a layer above this one. Then select color 22 from the palette and go to the brush set for this tutorial. Here you can see a brush called Flicks. I made it based on the original Flicks brush from Procreate, only changed the shape. Anyway, let's select it. Set the size to around 10% and just start making circular strokes inside the flower to create a shape resembling a circle. Actually, it doesn't have to be perfect, and for now the size doesn't matter. It will be scaled later. Let's now add color 23 here. We can do it just by tapping. Let's now scale the shape. We can make it rather small and place it right in the center, like this. Now let's create a layer underneath. It will be located between these two. Then we can grab color 21, go to Materials, and select Noise Brush. We will add some more details here. The size and opacity can be set to maximum. And we just need to make a stroke like this. For now it doesn't look nice, but we will make some manipulations here. First of all, let's clip the layer to our flower and also set it to multiply mode. Still not very nice. But now let's go to Adjustments and from this menu, select Perspective Blur. We need to match this directional picker with the center of the flower, and after that slide the pencil to the right to 100%. We will get this fluffy texture. Let's now scale it, make it rather small, and also match it with the center of the flower. I'll make it a little bit bigger like this. Then go to Airbrushing and select Soft Brush. Let's keep the size at a rather small amount and just paint around this shape. So we will keep the spikes around, but still darken this area in the middle. We will get something like this. It is set to multiply mode, but still we can make it even darker. Let's apply Hue Saturation Brightness option. Just lower the brightness and at the same time increase saturation. I will tweak it a little bit more, like this. And to make this texture in the middle more visible, we can duplicate the layer. Now it looks like this. We can add some more details here. So let's go to the base layer with the flower again and create one above. it will be clipped right away. First we can add some shading here. So let's set the layer mode to multiply and grab color 22. We can apply it using soft brush. Just make some more strokes around. We can make the size a little bit bigger and do it with low pressure. Darken this area around, but not go too far. I think we can also adjust saturation to make it more brownish and play around with brightness. Let's keep it like this for now. I've set saturation to 66% and lowered brightness only to 49%. We can also try to scale it like this, but we also need to center it. Okay, I think now it looks nice. In the next step, we can add some highlights. For that we need to create one more layer above. Let's set it to screen mode and actually grab the base color. It was number 20. We can make the brush size a little bit smaller and make some more strokes on the petals, mostly in the center like this. Let's do it on this one, and also here. We can actually try to highlight the tips as well. I will continue going around. And now we will get something like this. In the end, let's draw some more lines inside the petals. We can create one more layer right above this one. Maybe also set it to multiply. And at first select color number 21. Before we start making these strokes, I think I will make the spot in the middle just a little bit smaller. So let me select these 3 layers and scale it even more. I think now the flower looks even better. If you notice that the spot got a little bit blurry, it can be fixed by using Sharpen tool. I will first apply it on this layer and then these two. Just a little. So now it looks like this. Let's go to the new layer. It's number 12. And then from Ink and Set, we can grab Inka brush. Set the size to 3% and start drawing the lines that will go from the center towards the tips of the petals. Some of the lines can be shorter, and in the middle they will be longer. They can also look like arcs and follow the direction of the petals. Let me draw a longer one here. They can be also dashed like this. I will rotate the canvas and also adjust the pressure that I apply on the pencil, so they will get more or less textured. Let me draw a few shorter ones here. And a longer one. Also this way. Then I will continue doing it on the next petal. And finish them all. Let me continue rotating it. Just like this. Short one. And then the last petal over here. Okay, I think this flower looks very nice. Maybe we can adjust this color a little bit. So let's apply hue, saturation, brightness again. First of all, we can increase saturation and also brightness, so it's not so dark. We can actually try to match it with the color underneath. Now it looks fine. My settings are the following: saturation 63% and brightness 62%. Let's now merge all the layers for the flower, all at once, and then match it with one side of the stem. If it is too big or small, you can scale it. I think mine fits perfectly. I will just place it this way, then duplicate it, and drag it down. Let's find one more stem. We have it here. So first, let's make it smaller, like this. Place it this way. And to change the shape a little, let's use warp. I will just push it up like this. Rotate a little more. And just mate it with the stem. Let's have a look at it. I think it looks quite nice. Now we can duplicate the first flower one more time. Drag it down again. This one can be a little bit bigger. So let's make it like this. Then also switch to warp tool. Change the shape a little. It can also have a different direction. So let me rotate it. Let's try not to overdo it, so it doesn't look too distorted. Okay. I think it also looks nice. Let's duplicate the initial flower one more time and continue matching it. I think we can keep this one rather small and just place it here. Maybe like this. We can still rotate it. Then duplicate the flower one last time, the big one, and place it here in the middle. Let's also scale it. Place it this way, and then I will rotate it a little bit. Or maybe we can try to flip it, horizontal or vertical. Or maybe both. Just see what you like. Okay, I think I like this version. Now let's do this. I will drag this flower at the bottom down. And then select all the remaining flowers. Merge the layers. Then duplicate. And in this transformation menu, flip the entire layer horizontal. Now we can just drag it to the opposite side and match it, like this. Since we used Symmetry to draw the stems, they should match perfectly. Like this. As you see, it is very fast and easy. But we still have some more space on top. Let's also fill it quickly. Let's go to layer number 5, where we have the leaves with the stems. Then activate selection and use it in rectangle. We can outline just one of the sides. Like this. Now let's click copy and paste in this menu. the leaves will appear on a new layer. Now to keep it symmetrical, let's go to Canvas and activate Drawing Guide just to see the line. So we can now match these leaves with the axis. Let's click on the arrow to open transformation menu. And first we can try to scale it, like this. Let's drag it upper and rotate it counterclockwise. Let's scale it a little more maybe. I think we can put it somewhere here. This part here will be covered by another flower. So I think we can just keep it here. To finish this part, we can select the color and paint a leaf. Let's stay here, switch to technical pen and just draw another leaf shape. Let me fill it like this. I think I will make it slightly bigger. So it looks nice. I will continue adjusting it and trying different options. I think now I like this one. Then I will grab this light blue color from the details part. Switch to Inca. It's the brush that we used here. So we can draw these lines on the last leaf as well. We just need to make the size smaller. Okay. Now when this part is ready, we can add a few flowers here. But I'd like to make them different. If you'd like to practice what you learned with the previous flowers, you can just go ahead and draw a similar flower, but with rounded petals. But I already created one for you. So if you'd like to skip it, you can just insert it from the files. It's called flower. Let's scale it. Then put it here. Let's make it slightly bigger. I just want to keep some diversity. That's why I didn't duplicate one of these flowers. This way it will be better. Let me make it even bigger. And place it like this. So we have two more empty stems. I'm going to duplicate the flower. Let's go to this one underneath and adjust it. First we need to make it smaller. Let's mate it with this stem. Also we can use warp to change the shape a little. Now let's duplicate this one more time. Go here. Make this one a little bit bigger than the small one. Put it on this stem. We can try to rotate it. And also use warp to push it a little bit up like this. Let me match it a little bit more with the stem. I think now it looks quite nice. And all we need to do next is merge these layers. 1, 2, 3, like this. And then just duplicate. Let's now flip it horizontal. Let's go to one of the layers. Flip it horizontal. And to drag it strictly horizontally, we can go to Settings and activate Magnetics. Let's now do it carefully. And place it somewhere here. Alright, now our composition is ready. I will remove the drawing guide from the canvas. And in the end, I'm gonna show you how you can apply a texture overlay. But before doing that, let's merge all these layers, excluding the background. One of the ways to add a texture into your drawing is to find a ready file on various websites like Unsplash and some others. So let's insert it. You will also find it in the tutorial files. It's called texture. And it will appear on the canvas like this. Now let's tap on it and change the layers mode to overlay. It looks a little bit too harsh. All we need to do is lower the opacity to 39%. This way it will be applied to the entire drawing including the background. But if you'd like to keep the texture only on the drawing, but keep the background clean, we can just clip the layer to the one below. And in the end, we will get this nice texture. As the final touch, I'd like to do this. Let's go to the layer with the drawing, create another one above, and it'll get clipped. We can just set it to soft light, grab black color, and also technical pen. So we can add some extra lines, especially on the leaves, so they will get some volume. Let's try to lower the opacity to 50% for now. And start making strokes. The size here can be big. Let's also add a shadow here under the flower. Then also this way, mostly on the right side of the leaves. But we need to be careful since we have everything on one layer. Let me do it quickly. I just think it has more volume like this. It looks better. So first we can apply it on the leaves. Maybe also place one here. Then add a shadow. And then make a few more strokes on the leaves. So they will get some thickness too. You can also do it here. Just a tiny bit. So it'll look more detailed. Alright. Let me add a couple more strokes. Here. Maybe also on these flowers. I think with this texture it looks much better. Okay. If you think the texture looks too dark, of course you can continue adjusting the opacity of this layer. Our poster design is almost ready. We can just add some final elements. So let's create a layer above the background. Select Flex Brush and start with color number 20. The size can be big, at around 54 or 55%. Let's just make a few strokes. Here, we can do it by tapping, also on the left side, a little bit here. Now we can scale it so it doesn't go outside the frame. If you'd like to move only one part, you can just outline it and then move. Let me also outline this one on the right. I'll drag it down. Then I think I will duplicate this one, since I like how it turned out. So I'll outline it first, then copy and paste. I will drag it up and rotate. Let me also make it smaller, like this. Now we can add another layer. So I will merge these two, click on the plus button again, and switch to color number 7, so we can make a few more strokes. Let's add one here on the right, also at the bottom, just on the empty space. I think this is too much. I will tap here too, then scale this part, put it this way. After that I will outline this part on the right, move it upper, also outline this one at the lower side, and drag it down too. Also make it bigger. Something like this. Let me try to rotate it. I think now it looks better. Just make sure it doesn't go outside the white frame. Now we have less empty space, and after this final step, our beetle poster design is complete. If you enjoyed following this tutorial, I will appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more Procreate related content. If you share your finished drawing on Instagram, please don't forget to tag me at TatyWorks so I can see it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.